Just minutes ago, an unimaginable disaster struck the southern coastal province of Hainan, China, as record-breaking rainfall caused a massive breach in both dams and riverbanks across multiple cities and villages. Entire communities are underwater after crucial flood defenses collapsed, leading to one of the most devastating flash floods in the region's history. Water swept through cities and rural towns with unrelenting force, engulfing homes, vehicles, and businesses, leaving tens of thousands stranded as floodwaters rose at an alarming rate. As evening fell, the sheer scale of destruction became painfully clear. Cities once bustling with activity now lie silent beneath murky waters, with only rooftops, trees, and occasional upper stories of buildings visible above the flood. Emergency responders are racing against time, battling treacherous conditions to save those left stranded in their homes or clinging to debris. With rescue boats and helicopters on constant rotation, every available resource is being mobilized to evacuate the trapped and deliver essential supplies to those in isolated areas. Witness accounts: the water came out of nowhere. Residents described the terrifying ordeal, saying they had mere moments to react. In a scene more fitting of a disaster movie, floodwaters burst through riverbanks and overflowed dams, creating waves that surged through homes, businesses, and streets without mercy. We heard a thunderous noise, and then the water was everywhere. Cars were lifted and thrown like toys, and we barely made it to the second floor, said one witness. Social media is flooded with footage and images capturing the heartbreaking devastation. Families on rooftops waving for help, entire cars submerged in the rapid currents, and homes destroyed within seconds as the water continued its relentless climb. In one harrowing scene, a family scrambled onto their roof to escape the rising waters, surrounded by neighbors in similar peril. Videos capture scenes of frantic rescue operations with helicopters hoisting people to safety as boats navigate through submerged streets. Stranded residents have been making makeshift signals on rooftops to alert rescuers, and some areas have been without power and communication for hours, adding to the growing chaos. Massive infrastructure damage as floodwaters surge. The destruction to infrastructure is extensive, with roads washed away, bridges collapsed, and entire neighborhoods turned into lakes. Multiple highways and main roads have become impassable, further isolating already vulnerable communities and complicating rescue efforts. Electricity lines and power stations have been damaged, leaving many areas without power, compounding the challenges for first responders. Internet connectivity is spotty, making it hard for families to communicate with loved ones or seek emergency help. Some local reports indicate that parts of the region's dam network are still at risk of additional breaches, as emergency crews work around the clock to prevent further failures. Local authorities have declared the highest level of emergency, and the government is mobilizing aid and personnel from neighboring regions. However, access to critical areas remains difficult as floodwaters continue to surge and obstruct key routes. Regional transport has come to a standstill, with railways submerged and airports closed due to flooding on the tarmac. The sheer scale of the destruction has left emergency services stretched thin, as calls for evacuation assistance flood in from across Hainan. Health and humanitarian crisis on the rise. With thousands displaced, the humanitarian situation is growing increasingly dire. Evacuation centers are filling rapidly, and there are fears of waterborne diseases as floodwaters stagnate, mixing with sewage and debris. Medical personnel are setting up makeshift clinics to care for the injured, and volunteers are distributing drinking water and food. As temperatures soar, the threat of illness rises, and doctors are already treating cases of dehydration and infection among those rescued from flood zones. The floodwaters have also destroyed miles of agricultural land, threatening the livelihoods of thousands of farmers and causing concern over future food security in the area. Livestock has been lost, and crops across thousands of acres now lie beneath murky water, with damage expected to result in severe shortages in the coming months. Economists are predicting that the aftermath of this disaster will impact Hainan's economy for years, with reconstruction costs likely reaching billions as homes, schools, and businesses must be rebuilt from the ground up. Regional and international relief efforts underway, As the water continues to rise in some areas, neighboring provinces are sending in reinforcements, and international relief agencies are preparing to assist. Rescue teams and aid supplies are en route, with additional boats, medical personnel, and food supplies being deployed to Hainan. China's National Disaster Management Authority has issued nationwide calls for donations, with citizens across the country contributing to relief funds. The sheer scale of need is drawing international attention, and humanitarian organizations have already committed resources to aid the response. The next 48 hours are critical, as meteorologists warn of continued heavy rain and elevated flood risks. With more rainfall forecasted, residents in neighboring areas are being urged to evacuate to safer locations. Local officials are on high alert, monitoring dam stability and preparing to issue evacuation orders. Meanwhile, search and rescue teams are braving the floodwaters day and night, risking their lives to ensure that as many people as possible are brought to safety. Stay updated. Help us spread awareness. We'll be providing ongoing coverage of this unfolding disaster. Our team is committed to keeping you informed with real-time updates, detailed reports, and exclusive on-the-ground footage from Hainan province. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay informed about this critical situation. Help us spread awareness by sharing this video with friends, family, and on social media. Your support can make a difference in bringing attention to those who need help during this crisis.